Dissection of a flower. This corresponds to pages 20, 21 and 22 of your booklet. So the flower is the reproductive organ of the plant. It contains the male and female sex organs. The male sex organ is called the stamen, S-T-A-M-E-N, and the female organ is called the carpel, C-A-R-P-E-L. So the flower, before it is opened, is protected by these tiny leaves, or called sepals, S-E-P-A-L-S, and their job is to protect the bud, or what we call the flower, before it opens. The flowers themselves are nice and brightly coloured, so that they will attract the insects to them. And the insects are attracted to could be the smell, the colour, but they also then get a reward of nectar, which is found down in the nectaries at the base of the flower. So in this plant here, it would be down in the base down here that they would get the nectar. And the flower sits on a platform called the receptacle. So that holds the flower in its place. So our brightly coloured petals, if we remove them, they will show us then the male and the female reproductive organs. So here's our flower, and we can see that we have the male reproductive organ and the female reproductive organ. So the male reproductive organ, the stamen, is made up of two parts. The filament, which holds the anther, and it is in the anther that you would find pollen. So the pollen is found in the anther at the top here, and you can see bits of pollen lying around on the page there. And we've got one final one. So there's your three stamen that are found in this flower. The female part, or the carpel, is this part here. So it is made up of three parts. The stigma, in which the pollen will land, it's got a sticky platform. The style, which a pollen tube will grow down through. And then inside here is the ovary that will contain the ovules, or the female sex cell, or eggs. So if I've opened this one up here, and you can see inside it the ovules inside the ovary. So we have our carpel, the female part, made up of the stigma, the sticky platform at the top, the style, will connect the stigma to the ovary. And then the male part, which is called the stamen, and it is made up of the anther, which contains the pollen grains, and the filament, which holds up the anther. Okay, so the filament. So filament, anther, stigma, style, ovary, and the stamen is a full name for the male reproductive organ, and the carpel is a full name for the female reproductive organ.